Alright, so this video is all about sellers. We're going to work with listings, sellers in this business. They say you got to list to last. So the key to working listings, there's a lot of positives and there's a couple of negatives. We're going to give you the definition of a seller. A seller is one who is sufficiently motivated to go through the challenges of marketing and selling their home in order to make a move. Notice the definition of a seller is a little longer than a buyer. That is because the process takes a little longer. Sellers are a little bit more work, but ultimately they are the only way that you can get both sides of a transaction. If you take the listing and you bring in a buyer, you can actually get both sides. So working listings, working sellers is also a ton of promotion. So you have the sign in the ground, people are calling you, it brings in a whole bunch of attraction to have, if not buyers for that house, another house. So listings are really the key to leveraging this business. The downsides to working with sellers is there's a lot of pressure to perform. They expect a lot from you. Their house is very personal to them, so it's just a lot more involvement with the property, and they're going to be a lot more pressure on it, especially in a down market where they're losing money. And in an up market, there's still just as much pressure because it's the place that they live. The pricing tug of war is real. Relational friction during the listing, as things come up as the house isn't selling, or if people say things about the house and you have to have that conversation with your sellers, or maybe sometimes people walk in with their dirty shoes and you get a seller who's upset about, there's so many different variables with having a listing. There's a lot of friction involved sometimes. Expectation of financial outlay. You have to make sure that you're able to give them a true presentation of how much they're going to make, or how much they're going to lose in the case of a short sale or a foreclosure. And the sellers are extremely attached to their homes. So there's a lot of emotional energy involved in working with listings. The upsides to sellers, as I mentioned, is the leverage. It's the most optimal way to leverage your business, and listings are working even when you're not. As a listing agent, I put a sign in the ground and all the other buyer's agents have to come visit me. Whereas when you work the buyer, you're going from this house to this house to this house, hoping that that buyer is finding something that they're liking. Whereas listing agent is spending 30 minutes here at this one property, you have to spend 30 minutes at multiple properties. So as far as leverage goes, it's just far more leverage to work listings. So let's dive in.